How can you remove those limiting beliefs and truly jump to your true potential? Well, it starts by setting out unrealistic goals.
Yeah.
And with all of the students, they gave me their goals, and I looked at them, I said, that's not crazy enough. And it wasn't. Every single one of them. It's like, I want to have, 5 houses, or I want to have X amount of dollars in monthly cash flow, or I'd like to have X amount of dollars in net worth by the time I'm 60, or I want to have, X amount of different types of investment courses or investment strategies that I'm bought into. And every single one of them was like, it seemed so realistic. It's like, yeah, of course you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is so achievable. I want it to be unrealistic. Like I want it to scare the pants off of you.
Yeah. I remember too, because the whole course was about living with intentionality. In other words, be intentional. Every day you wake up, you do things. Be intentional about them. Well, until you write down your dream life and dream it big, you can't be intentional towards that goal.
Right.
And something else that really stuck out with me about the course is the whole idea of being intentional. And this may be true for a lot of guys, maybe some ladies too. We get very caught up into our work, and our work becomes our identity. But here's some power that you gave me when I wrote down what my dream life is. And by the way, if you're listening to this, my dream life was not about wealth as far as dollars. It was a lot about time. And then I realized that to get to time, I needed wealth. But here's what I discovered. I'm a teacher by trade. I realized that my dream life was not wrapped up in a profession. It was wrapped up in becoming a certain type of person. And then the journey became, what path do I choose to become that type of person? And that was, I think, maybe even deeper than the course in some ways.
Yeah.
But that's a huge thing that I took out of that, because it's caused some changes, because I don't identify Josh Boyd as far as within a profession. I've decided that I'm Josh Boyd, and I'm trying to become an intentional person, which has led to some pretty big wins that we actually been talking about today.
Yeah. So let's dive into some of those wins. Let's go to Josh Boyd, pre-Dream Life University. What did your daily life look like? Where were you living? What did your family life look like? And just explain that.
Yeah. So my dream life, without giving you the reading it down, because it's a lot. I mean, he literally had us go in and write our ideal day, minute by minute. And I wrote it out, sir. I'll have you know, it's literally pages long. So for me, my dream life is time. And here's the reason why. My pre-dream life, I mean, I would wake up every day at about 5 o'clock, but I didn't go to the gym, Eric. Like I would wake up at 5 o'clock and eat my bowl of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, which is horrible for me. Who knows? Some days I'd go get a Pop-Tart to go with it. I mean, just really, really bad. I would listen to music, go about my day. I would get in the car, and then I would be at work, in my case, teaching really, really early, 6:30. And then including the extra hours I would put in at my job, my average work day is 6:30 a.m. to about 9 o'clock p.m. at night. I'm a high school band director, so that's my typical time coming home. Then I'd come home and I'd be so beat down and so tired. I wouldn't spend as much time with the kids as I'd want to. I wasn't the father. I think I wanted to be a good father. But what I realized through your course is if I stayed the same direction, you told us to choose our dream life, but you also taught me to consider what the worst case scenario was. And if I stayed the same, I realized, Eric, I was spending 14 hours a day with no time and not being a good husband to my wife, not being a good father to my kids. Volunteering at my church, which is important to me, was not a part of that. So my worst case scenario of becoming a person I didn't want to be, I realized in that moment that I was already living that worst case scenario. And that hurt me a lot on the inside. And I will tell you, that's a part of the course too that brought some pain to me, because I realized I'm already living a life by the motions. And in doing so, I'm not reaching not just any potential, but I'm actually at my lowest potential.
Right.